Hi, and welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Pastor Paul Steele from Bethlehem Church in Austin, Minnesota. The Bottom Line is our weekly summary of the previous Sunday's sermon. And on Sunday, we started a brand new sermon series called Hope in the Waiting, as we take a look at the book of Habakkuk. Habakkuk is an Old Testament prophet. This book of prophecy is called a minor prophet. So it's not very long, it's 3 chapters. What can we learn from this prophetic book? Well, first of all, we need to understand the context. What has happened is that Israel has been divided into 2 kingdoms, the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. The northern kingdom of Israel has already been conquered and exiled by the Assyrian Empire. The southern kingdom of Judah has a young boy by the name of Josiah become king. And during his kingship, Josiah has the temple repaired. And during that repairing process, they find the book of the law. And they read the book of the law and realize, hey, we have not been living according to God's covenant. And so Josiah starts to implement a series of reforms. And as a result, Judah experiences a time of prosperity. They experience God's blessing. But around 609 BC, Pharaoh Necho from Egypt comes up to confront or do battle with the Assyrian Empire. For some reason, Josiah decides to go out and fight against him. And during this battle, Josiah dies. Jehoiakim, his son, becomes king in his place. Jehoiakim is not a good guy. He undoes many of his father's reforms, and corruption and wicked and evil come into Judah. And so many of the righteous people, the good people of Judah, had experienced a good time of God's blessing under Josiah, and now are witnessing a time of violence and corruption and taking advantage of people. And this is what causes Habakkuk to cry out to God. He says, "How long, O Lord, must I call out for help, but you do not listen? Violence is everywhere. I cry, but you do not come to save." See, Habakkuk had questions. Why are the evil prospering? Why wasn't God coming to rescue them? And God responds. He tells Habakkuk to look at not only Judah, but the nations of the world. And he is doing something that he won't believe. Because what God is doing is he's raising up the Babylonians to come and deal with the violence in Judah. And this is something that's beyond Habakkuk's understanding. See, like Habakkuk, we can bring our honest questions to God. We can ask God, what is going on in my life? Why aren't you bringing healing? Why aren't you helping me? Why aren't you dealing with this evil and the violence around me? And as we lament, as we cry out to God, what we need to do is we need to remember that God is working even in when we don't understand his ways, even when we don't understand what he is doing. So God invites us to bring our questions and our worries to him. But in this, we are also asked to trust in his goodness, even when the world seems to be falling apart around us. So here's our big idea from Sunday. When life doesn't make sense, trust God. When life doesn't make sense, trust God. When we don't understand what God is doing, what is happening in our lives, we are just to trust him, trust in his goodness, trust in his promises, trust in what he has done for us in the past. Our challenge this week is to thank God. And the reason we want to thank God is, one, in our thanksgiving, we are reminded that there's still good in the world, that there's still beauty, there's still love, there's still things to be grateful for. And also, number 2, when we give thanks to God, it reminds us that God has been at work in our lives. God has provided for us. God has guided us. He has given us all these great and wonderful things. And so there is reason why to give thanks to God. There's reason to remember that we can trust God no matter what else is happening in our lives. All of us have lived long enough to know that life doesn't turn out as planned, that this world is still corrupted by evil. This reality will often not only bring us discouragement, but also will bring doubt into our lives. So when we have questions, we can voice them to God. That's called lamenting. We give to God, God, where are you? What is happening? But as we do this, we also need to remind ourselves of God's goodness, and we need to pledge our trust in Him. Hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of Bethlehem. I want to remind you that you can join us every Sunday morning at 10:30 on Facebook, here on YouTube, or better yet, here in Austin, Minnesota, next to Ellis Middle School. And if you want to partner with us with the ministry we're doing here in Austin, there are two things you can do. You can pray. You can pray that we would have opportunities to share God's love with those around us. And you can also go to our website, BethlehemChurchAustin.com, and go to the Give tab and give. That's one of the ways that we will have the resources to do ministry here in Austin. And if there's a prayer request that you'd like me to be praying about, send me a note, leave a comment, and I'll be glad to add you to my prayer list. Hey, thank you again for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and God bless.